Welcome to Website Royalty Town Hall number 7. I just have to say we're rolling in over the hood. Is like last minute. We had some glitches and we just want to be upfront about that. So if there's anything wonky going on, you might get some giggles if nothing else. So
It seems to be our modus operandi these days, right?
it absolutely does.
I
Well,
love it.
welcome to Town Hall tonight. We're really excited. We hope that you will be impressed because we've been working behind the scenes trying to get a little bit I'm going to call it bougier, but really we're just trying to get clearer. We're trying to make it easier to follow. So we have some graphics to share tonight, some pretty clear how-tos to do tonight for this lovely space. I want to remind everybody that, website royalty town halls are so that we can share some answers with you, some support for you if you are considering Kajabi or if you're already on Kajabi. We have a website royalty private live meetup inside of our community every week, and that's where we're bringing these questions from. Is we know if they have questions like this, we're sure that some of you probably do too. So we think business is better together. And I am your host, Kim White. I am the founder and fierce leader of the My Sexy Business team and community. And I am joined tonight by the lovely partner in crime, we'll just call it, Denise Millay, the findability queen herself. She's all things SEO.
Thank
So
you, Kim.
that was almost without taking a breath, Denise.
That's right. But I am going to stop us 1 second before, because we caught this ourselves last week and we want to say what Kajabi is a little bit,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Kajabi is an all-in-one platform that can do so many things for your business, and we can rattle off all the features and functions, but most notably, your website, your email broadcast, your CRM, your landing pages, things like that, your sales and your offers and your processor, your payment processor, and it's kind of soup to nuts of everything that you need to do. And normally, you would create a tech stack of all these different apps or platforms to do some of these things, and then you'd have to make them all talk together to get your outcome. And what Kim and I have learned over our many years of doing these things, and Kim's had way more than me, is that that can be very frustrating and time consuming and costly. So we migrated to Kajabi years ago, and we are raving users, raving fans, and now we've turned into affiliates because we really truly believe in the platform.
Absolutely, Denise. And, just for the record, we are affiliate partners with Kajabi. So if you sign up using our link, you are, going to get all the benefits of Kajabi and you don't pay anything for us, but we give a really juicy bonus if you use our affiliate link, which is the QR code. I'm going to see if I can get it right
You
in
did,
that
you
corner.
did.
It's different when you're live streaming, y'all. I just want to say, but we want to make sure you know that you're not paying extra for us to be here. You're not paying extra for using our affiliate link. None of that. We just want to make that very clear too. Is Kajabi's amazing. We haven't found anything better, and we've been. I'll just say we're tempted all the time, or people attempt to tempt us all the time. They ask us to test things, and it's a hard pass because
Yeah,
we have found a home at Kajabi where we have the things we need to run our businesses, and we are willing to share with you all the end result because we have done so many things on Kajabi. We have lots of things that live on Kajabi.
right,
So we
right.
want to share those during this too. So Denise, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to our bougie new list.
Right. So we have a list tonight of all the things that we've talked about um, in website royalty in the group, and we figure if people there are asking these questions, then it's going to be helpful for you all. Some of you all probably have the same questions. So here's the list of some of the things that we've talked about in website royalty recently. Do you want to go through it, or do you want me to do it?
It doesn't matter, Denise. And I want to say we're not just saying this to say, what is that little kid thing? Na 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 na. We're bringing
Oh,
this out loud so that if you have the same questions, we hope we can help you live. Like we hope we are
right,
going to be able to help.
right.
So that
Right, so we touched on Kajabi payments and how that whole payment processing works with, Kajabi. Custom checkout pages, which are now way more robust within Kajabi, so they can be almost like mini landing pages, which is kinda cool. We talked about importing an existing podcast from another host into Kajabi because you can host your podcast within Kajabi as well. We talked about how that process automatically generates a landing page per episode, which is incredibly helpful for SEO. We also talked about podcast distribution and how Kajabi's RSS feed can be connected to other platforms like Apple and Spotify, and then creating a course and how we're using that. And then we were talking about the community and how we can use that to strategically build our email list. So it's been a busy week or so.
it has been a busy week, and we want to mention really quickly, we had some more things come up about community this week. And so when we get to the community part, we just want you to know that last week on town hall number 6, we actually broke down how to get started and some of the reasons why to do it a certain way. So if you are thinking of building a community, I would challenge you to think of not doing it on a social media platform, but doing it on Kajabi, because it's amazing what can happen when you have an all-in-one instead of having to try to connect all the pieces. So
Right.
go back and listen to that. It's here where you're listening, it'll be here. So you
Mhm.
can find it fairly easily. But we want to go through each one of these things. We want to
Right.
we want to start talking about each one. So the first one we want to talk about is
Oops. What happened? Sorry.
you just said, yeah, there you go.
There you
So
go.
I want Denise to talk about Kajabi payments because Kajabi payments has got like a whole list of things that goes inside that. So
It does. So Kajabi payments, you've heard of Stripe. Stripe is a platform for accepting payments for things. Well, Kajabi now has an arrangement with Stripe that you can set Kajabi payments up so that you get all the data from your payment processing within the Kajabi platform. So you no longer would have to log into Stripe to get it, but you can also, as a result of that, accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Diners Club, um, Discover, and there's a couple of other ones that are international ones that are on there. And then you can also do extended payments if someone wants a payment plan. You can also set up your own payments to take like 3 months payments and spread it over 3 months if you want. So there are multiple ways that Kajabi's now set up their payment processing to streamline all of it by using Kajabi payments. And you can also get Apple Pay, Wallet, and Google Pay Wallet are available as well. So that's very attractive for a lot of people who are doing online things, as well as PayPal, which has always been attached to the Kajabi platform. You can also use PayPal. So it's very robust now.
the part that I like the most about it, I'm just gonna say, is inside Kajabi, if someone pays through Kajabi, they can use any of those forms, but the information lives in Kajabi so that it makes it easy for you to see who your clients and customers are, to see who is, paying, who's in a subscription, who's a one-time payment, gives you transaction things. So there's a lot of information that goes into that. We don't want to overwhelm you with all that, but we at the end are going to show you like just where to go to set things up. We want to keep the live streams of easy buttons. That's what we want to keep them for. If you have
Right.
questions, make sure you ask them because we are going to try our best to answer what you ask. But it's important to us not to overwhelm you either.
Right, right. And then if we wanted to talk about custom checkout pages a little bit, not get too in the weeds here, your traditional checkout experience in a lot of platforms would be to show you a product name, a quantity, and a dollar amount. maybe apply a coupon, right? And then process the payment. So you'd be able to have a limited amount of things going on around that checkout experience. And what Kajabi has done in the last year is expanded that and turned those checkout pages into be mini like landing pages. So you can really add text, other images, buttons, all sorts of different things to do that final push towards checkout that is very helpful when someone gets to that page and you answer all their all the things that they're all their objections and give them their final bits of information to help spur them on. They also have a cart so you can add your products that purchase people buy to a cart if you have multiple things that you're selling. So it's an incredibly robust system now.
Well, and I want to say it's always had a great checkout system. I think this is just another level. And
Right.
as far as easy, whenever we're talking about all these things, it actually is very simple. Like it
Very.
is something that if you don't want all the bells and whistles when you're doing it, you can keep it very simple. We actually have on the screen 3 examples. Denise and I teach a workshop called TNT workshop. It's for website building. That is one of the examples of that checkout page. We have a private group called Showtime Mastermind that checkout page looks different than the other one. It's very custom to what that class or course or group or whatever you're selling is. And then we have a sticky note time guided weekend one on here that looks very different than the other two. It's very important for us anyway to make sure you can see real life examples, not just made up things, so that you know okay, so I'm gonna get on my little soapbox for just a minute. A lot of times people want to tell you stuff they haven't done. They want to show you something they've heard how to do it, and that's different than what we're doing here. We use Kajabi for our businesses. All 3 of these things have been sold. All 3 of these things have had years under their belt of selling and of doing. So
Mhm.
I think that that's an important piece of this.
Absolutely, Kim. I mean, there's you don't want to be a false somebody who just talks about things and false teacher, I guess, is what I like to. I'm a doer. I'm a doer. I like to share what I do. So
I'd also like to mention one more thing about if you haven't already started on Kajabi, you can literally go in and make a checkout page and use that as a link without having your website set up, without having the other things done. This is a place to start. If you're truly just beginning something, or you're truly just maybe you have a brick and mortar and you're going to go to some more online things,
mhm,
this is a great way to get started, I think. You can start
agree.
by doing that and then building a landing page about it and then building your homepage about it. And then, like, you can work your way that way. You don't
Right.
have to have a giant website to do these checkout pages. They're pretty enough to be, a website or a landing page.
Right.
But you can use that link and actually get started making money right out of the gate instead of having to wait till you've done the other things. So I do want to mention that.
And I do want to say if your goal is to build a community, but you're not ready to do some of the other stuff, well, the payment processing, if it's a paid community or there's a portion that's paid, can be activated towards that without having, as Kim said, the website. They're not tied together exclusively. So
Well, they're tied together, but they don't have to be published. Let's be clear about that because they're not broken. Like you don't have to set them, you don't have to tie them together like other platforms. They are
right,
tied together, but you don't have to have all the pieces.
right, right.
So
They're a little bit you get to pick and choose to a
mhm,
certain extent. Yes.
yes.
So we're talking about the same thing, right? Yeah. Sometimes we go in circles when we talk about things, if you haven't noticed that, folks, but we do. So,
We get pretty excited about all this stuff.
yes,
That's
we
fun.
do. The other thing we rolled into this week in a big way again was the podcast and dealing with moving podcasts over to Kajabi. So we had that, which I thought was a great exercise because we had somebody who had like 200 plus episodes, multiple seasons, 7 seasons or 6. And how long did it take? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't take very long to do it. And I want to back us up for just a second, Denise, because on this graphic, I just want to explain
Right.
the, the things that we have on here are examples. Because if you are in website royalty, we will not tell your business out loud. And we want to say that. So if you're thinking of joining and thinking we're coming out here and telling everybody, we're telling what we talked about, but we are definitely not talking about a person or giving away business secrets from somebody. I think that's important to note. But
Absolutely.
Denise created a brand new podcast on her Kajabi. We actually imported 2 podcasts of ours onto Kajabi. So we have both experience. And the one that she's talking about we imported this week for, for one of the royals is it's so exciting, and we're kind of hitting all over the place. I get that. The example we have on this graphic, the very top graphic, is actually the banner section of our podcast page. So you have the ability to make it pretty bougie, I think. That's just one part of it, but it's nice looking for what we wanted it to look like. On the left side, I think,
Yes,
we're
you are
looking
correct.
at things backwards when we live stream, so
I
I
know.
have to
Hard.
but the one with the yellow, how's that, Denise? The one with the yellow is Denise's amazing
SEO.
SEO Day podcast, I just want to say. And if you're listening and not watching, I have an SEO Day cup from Denise, and I love it because it says the findability queen says to make Tuesdays your SEO day.
Yes.
So lovely, lovely. But that is an example of what the whole list looks like of all the episodes, and then what a single page does. Now, y'all lean in because I need you to hear this really clearly. This is magical stuff. When you upload an episode into Kajabi for your podcast, the little magic things that go on in Kajabi create a landing page for each episode. So you end up having what the SEO queen says about making a landing page for every episode. That really is a huge hack for getting more visitors to your site, more people following your podcast. They do it for you. You literally upload your episode and it creates a landing page, beautiful landing page. So Denise's is on one side and ours for our Buckets and Boom Gates podcast is on the other. These are real life examples. You can go to either of our sites if you want to take a peruse around because they are Kajabi sites.
They are.
One of the things we want to share and not give away not betray anyone, but the podcast that Denise was talking about that we helped import this week, no, last week, we helped import it last week. In 1 week's time, and I think it's probably because of all those landing pages, but in just 1 week's time, they had an additional 1,453 downloads in 1 week because of moving to Kajabi and all the things that were done. I am so impressed. Like, I think that was such an impressive thing because now they have 200 plus new landing pages that are leading people who are searching for things that are in their titles, that they're
In your
leading them
website.
to this person. So that is exciting to me.
I think so too.
Let's talk for just a second about podcast distribution.
Yes, definitely.
I think that this is one of the things that a lot of podcasters, new podcasters, ask. I know I did back in the beginning. I've been podcasting since 2018. And
Mm,
so I have a little bit of years under my belt. I have been the host or co host of a dozen podcasts. And I don't even know, I don't know the number anymore, but like 3,000 plus episodes that I've been part of. So that to me is a lot of
mhm,
information I have gotten along the way. But the one of the questions I had way back in the beginning is I wanted to change my hosting place. Kajabi didn't have it at that time, but I wanted to change my hosting space for my podcast. And I didn't know if I would be taken off all the podcatchers because
mhm,
I changed, but I am here to assure you, you can be on all the same places if you have an existing podcast. You absolutely can be on all those same places. If you are creating a new one, we also can show you the list of places that you want to make sure you contact and tell them, "Hey, look, I have this new show."
mhm,
So, it is very important to understand the benefit of coming to Kajabi for your podcast is that it works the magic for like the SEO, for the landing pages, for those kind of things for you. There's a lot of tools inside there that
mhm.
do a lot of things, and we just want to make sure we don't overlook that because I think that was one of my fears way back then is it wouldn't be distributed right.
Right, and in essence, for podcasters out there, you get the same RSS feed coming out of Kajabi that you would from any other hosting platform. So, as other hosting platforms use that feed that lists all your episodes with all the details, and it gets updated on a regular basis, it's the same thing happens with Kajabi. So you have to go to the other networks and say, "Hey, I've got a podcast," but just like you did before on any other platform, but you still get the same thing. So the same output.
We
So
really,
yeah, you
really
gotta
like
check it.
we like our Kajabi
We
podcast.
do. We do. We do. We do. And then so that was a great exercise though, because I've done it from scratch. You've imported. We had some other things with yours, but this was a good example of somebody who wasn't sure, but then decided to go, and it was a good experience. So I
Very
appreciate that.
happy camper.
Yes, I
Very
like happy
happy
royals.
royal.
We like
Very
happy
happy
royals. We
royals.
like to wave and just wave. So the last thing that we were going to talk about today was courses, right, Kim?
Mhm. Yep.
And I just lost my thing. So
Well,
go ahead.
well, I just want to like kind of explain what a course is in Kajabi because it's a product in Kajabi that you can choose. Denise has chosen to use a course to host her SEO for entrepreneurs workshop. So
Right.
it's really a juicy place is what I'm going to call it because you can have modules, you can have downloadables, you can put videos in, but you also can go in and teach live inside a course. You actually can be in there with your students. They can come in a certain time. You also have the ability to drip them. So maybe you have a course that's created and you're going to use it as an evergreen or all the time course. They can get like maybe the first module the first week, they can get the second module the second week. You can set all of that up to be very custom and very, I'm going to say, attention feeling. Feels like you're getting a lot of attention from the teacher because it feels so good inside the courses. Very simple, but very informational as far as here's the summary, here's the module names, here's what you're going to get. Like they are very sexy
It's a
course.
it's a great product, and you could upload video pieces to it as well as still things and PDFs and all that wonderful stuff. It also allows you to do assessments at the end of modules, and you can also have certificates at the end of completion, and, it's pretty broad. You can really apply it to a lot of different situations, so,
It has a progress bar, which I love when I'm
yes.
taking a course or when I'm teaching a course, either one. I love the progress bar because it will tell you information like, somebody is going through and they're only listening to the first couple of minutes and then they're skipping to the next one. They're not actually following what you have
Mhm.
set up. Gives you information. Maybe you're teaching too slow. Maybe you're teaching too fast because they're getting lost. Like there are things that you can learn inside there by those progress bars. It gives you
Out there.
information for you to do a better job every time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the image we have up there is my SEO for blogging course that I had set up. That's the landing page for it. So that was one of the it's 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 scheduled once a month, but it's on a different date every month. So it's not like it's something like you could do in a community because you're going to meet every Tuesday, right? This is a one-off thing someone purchases. You can also set how long they have access to it, which,
Mhm.
most of the time, if it's a course, you're going to leave it as long as possible. But yeah, so that was great. And then we talked about community next was building email lists was another topic that we hit again this week when we were talking about setting up really cool custom email templates, which we've been doing with people.
So this is an example on this graphic of what our community home screen looks like. If you're in dark mode, there's a light mode, so there's actually an all white with that on there as well. You get to set up either way in the community, which I love. Um, but the community, when you have a free community in particular, you can build your email list by inviting people to the community to come in and offering them something. So we have like vision board parties, we have different roundtable discussions in our community. We do all kinds of things in our community because we want people to come in, we want to get to know them before we
Right,
invite them into like the curated spaces, masterminds, and things so that we don't waste their time. I think
right.
it's important to note that we have the solution for a lot of things, but if we don't have the solution you need, we're going to know that pretty quick. You stay in the free community, but we don't waste your dollars, we don't waste your time by having you come into a space that's not for you. So I think having a free community is a great way to build your email list and a great way to, get to know people. Get to know.
Yeah.
But
Have
the
them get to know
middle
you and see if you're a good fit.
the middle two pictures is Denise's beautiful email template that she sends out every week. The right side, or whichever side has the longer one
It's
on
the
it,
right side, yes.
it that is our email that goes out every week. We have a nurturing part of these, and then we have a newslettery part so that we have easy buttons for everybody. You can click a link to go watch our weekly show called Good Morning Entrepreneurs. You can click to get to Denise's workshops. You can click to get to things. You can actually click from our email to get here.
Right?
So we think that that is a beautiful thing, and you can do all of that inside of Kajabi. You can make very bougie looking emails.
And it's a template, so it's reusable and it makes it have a lighter lift because we're all about reusables here in this world of digital stuff. If you have to create from scratch every single time, makes it all the heavier. So these templates have been a godsend. So
Okay, we're going to do something, and I'm going to call it lightning rounds, Denise, because of how fast we're going to have to do it. But Denise is going to pull up it's not a mock website. I can't think of what you would call it, but it's our training website.
yes.
She's going to pull that up and we're going to go through quickly and show you some of these things where to go in the back end of Kajabi to do them. And I am laughing because I need to pull up the list so I go in order. But Denise,
Okay.
go hit, go ahead with the Kajabi payment. Show someone
Right.
how
So
it's
that
set.
is down in the settings here. On the left is our menu. And in Kajabi Payments, you have this great little easy button here. It says Payment Setup. And this is where you would get started. Um, I'm not an admin in this account. I'm just a user, so I can't do it. Kim would have to do it, but this is where you would get started and you would give it your information and you'd set it up here.
There's no information in there, so there's
Mm,
nothing. It's just the instructions. It asks you questions,
right,
you fill it out, and it's very simple.
right. So what's next, Kim?
Checkout pages, the custom checkout pages, um, on the left bar
We
where
go
it
to sales,
go to sales and go to your offers or
offers, and we have one in here. Um,
I think we created this last week, possibly showing everybody, but it's basically you create something that is, saleable. You don't have to have a product to have a checkout page. You can actually have something that you're doing a live meetup or a live meeting with.
right,
Inside Kajabi, you can have live meetings, by the way. You don't need other online video conferencing
right,
applications. You can use it right inside Kajabi.
right.
Um,
So the checkout page, I could show, but it doesn't have a lot in here to really show a real one, but it's attached to whatever offers you have. So you don't have to have a web page. You can actually create this checkout to look like the demo we have is, do I want to share this?
I don't even see it, Denise.
So
Yes.
this is the demo we have. So if you realize it's just like a web page that's not attached to a website. So you get to everything over here on the left-hand side, you get to add text and images. You could probably embed a video there. And then on the right-hand side is the payment part where you could actually set up coupons and then you choose which payments you're gonna accept. So if you're gonna accept Google Pay, Apple Pay, Kajabi Payments, or PayPal, and they would all show up here on the right-hand side, as well as the name and address of name and email of whoever you're buying from. So
Who who is buying from you?
thank you. Where it's going. Okay, where are we headed next, Kim?
So if I could read our list, Denise, I'm laughing because I'm gonna have to pull up our list in another.
Podcast. I think
Oh,
podcast is next,
okay. I feel
right?
like we went over podcasts really well, but what I would like to do is to go into the podcast part
Okay, so it's under products, podcasts,
and
and
then just.
then get started.
So here is where you choose whether you're going to start a new podcast or import one. The importing process is super simple. Obviously, we're here to answer questions, but it is super simple. It tells you step by step what you need to do. And if you'll follow those steps, it, in just a few minutes, you'll have it transferred over. And then it can take a little bit of time to get all of your pages if you have a lot of episodes. So give it maybe 24 hours if you have it. Your podcast is still live.
Right, right.
It's just your pages are being created.
Exactly, and, it's still faster than it would be if you had to create 200 landing pages, so, yeah,
Way faster.
way faster. So then
So
we talked about what next?
course.
Courses, there you go. I
Under
knew
products again.
thank you very much, and then courses on the underneath it, and then we're gonna do a get started just so you can see the difference. So there's 2 different kinds of courses that Kajabi calls them, evergreen, which is a one occurrence course that is out there for repeated sale. It's not tied to a date. A cohort course is one that you're going to start like a college course or a high school course that you're going to start on a certain date with a group of people and go through for a number of weeks, a duration altogether from start to finish, and that's what a cohort is. So there's multiple live sessions involved in that, whereas an evergreen is a little bit different. So evergreen's like self-paced more than cohorts is guided.
And I want to just speak to the fact that Kajabi makes it so simple because you literally fill in the blanks. It asks you questions and you give it answers, and
Mhm.
it fills things in for you. So it actually helps you. And this word came up in from a royal. It helps you co-create. It
Yes.
co-creates with you because it's helping you get clear in what you're trying to do in the course. It helps you, but don't be intimidated by us going so fast with all these things, because when you get into one of these, don't do many things in one day.
One at a time.
Finish something, and then you'll get so familiar with how Kajabi works, the next thing will be simple. So
Mhm.
I feel like this is one of those things that answer the questions that it asks you, and it
Right.
makes it really, really nice.
Yes. So
We
then we were talking about what? Community or email? Email, right?
Well, we talked about community last week, and I just want to remind everybody, town hall number 6, if you have more community questions, we broke down quite a bit about community last week.
Right.
We've broken down emails before, but I would just like to say for the emails, it's super simple too. Denise helped one of our royals within the last month come over from MailChimp, which
Right.
was which was a big deal. Um, it was only a big deal because they were nervous about it, and I don't blame them. They've worked really hard on their email list, and if you've been working hard on your email list, you know how protective you want to be with it. But Denise made it really simple to pull it over, and it's been going like lovely
Yeah.
without any hiccups. So I
Right.
think that's an important thing. But when your email is in Kajabi, all of those checkout pages we talked about, those the information goes into your email list, your contacts, your it gives you the ability to tag people. If somebody bought, let's say they bought TNT workshop or they bought the SEO for bloggers workshop, take either one of those and you put a tag on them, you know where they came from. So if you have a list of, 1,000 people, it's hard to keep up with where everybody came from.
Right.
The
And if
tag
you have someone who does one workshop, like for blogging, then the next one's coming in the succession, you wanna just email those people, you can do that too.
oh, so many good things. Now we do want to remind you all that we are Kajabi affiliate partners. We we get our we get paid from Kajabi, not from you. Like, let me say that really clearly. But we have a 30-day free trial that the QR code. Let me see if I can do this again.
Yes,
A QR
free.
code in the corner that if you use that, make sure you get in contact with us. You should get an email, but sometimes things happen. If if you use our QR code, you sign up for the 30-day free trial, which costs zero for 30 days. Let's point this out. You still get the bonus of a year of website royalty, the live meetups inside our community. It's a paid space. Other people have to pay for it because they didn't use our affiliate link, or it's past their time and they don't want to leave. So it's 2,500 a year, and we're gifting that as a bonus if you use our affiliate link. So it is very exciting to be with everybody every week. We love that we are able to hold this space.
Yes,
But
thank you.
thank you for watching tonight and being on the replay.
And I think next week, Kim, we were gonna talk about, coaching. the coaching program within Kajabi as well, because that's something that we're finding is incredibly useful. So we are going to touch on that next week. So look forward to that.
It's got all kinds of bells and whistles. Y'all don't want to miss that.
Right. And
So
just subscribe and like so you get notified when these are coming out. But we're here every Thursday,
mhm.
4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern.
You do that so well, Denise. Thank you. Well, thank you, Sweet Watcher. We will see you next week. Love y'all.